Hi there. In this video, I'm gonna go through a WordPress page for mobile responsiveness using Elementor. And so the first thing to note is actually how the hierarchy works. So there are three sections. Usually this is for most of the software that creates landing pages and funnels, but there are few who doesn't follow this hierarchy. So the higher screen changes will reflect on the lower screen changes, but the lower screen changes will not make any change on the higher screen. So let's just say I make any change on a tablet, it will not change the things that I have done on the desktop, but it will have the same changes happen on the mobile. So uh, so so the way to work is actually start from the desktop, make all the things desktop responsive, and move toward the tablet and then to the mobile. So it's like smaller changes to made every time you move down the screen. And on this side we can see that it has a structure element. So when I click here, it shows me all the hierarchy here. So this will definitely be a helpful thing to look, right? And I can actually stick it there on this side, so it shows up the whole line here. And when I scroll down from here, uh, the only thing I notice is actually I have to scroll to the left and right to see this. So what I'll do, I will just remove this and not have it as in here. Yep, so it doesn't show me the full screen, so I'll have it as a widget floating around. And when I scroll through this page, it seems okay to me. The only difference is actually, if you look here on this inner section. By the way, this is the old setting of Elementor, which has sections. So the top uh, the main container is called section in the old Elementor setting, and then there is inner section. So when I select this one, it shows up edit section here on this side, right, on the left side column. And when I select the inner one, it says edit inner section, that comes inside that. And then after that we can see the column settings here. Now it's different. They have changed everything to container, and this will be container, and this will be the container, and this will be the container. So that's different, but this is old um, page created with the old setting. So on this intersection, what I see here is, and by the way, when I select anything, it just scroll down to uh, on the hierarchy level. So that's good to know. So when I see here, it shows the image is fine, you know, going to the edges, but these two doesn't go to the edges. So what I'll do, of course this doesn't the intersection is not affecting them, otherwise it will be affecting all of the three columns. So I'll check from the column here. So I'll check this one first. So when I see here, there is no padding inside. This would be the padding of the column. So it's not here. Then I'll check the image if it has the, oopsie, let me go back here. So I'll select the image and see if it has any margin. It doesn't have any margin. So this means this could be something of the organization and how this is being set up, the column settings. So we see that this maybe have a more content here, so that's why it's a higher column, and this organize it as a differently to make it, you know, design wise look better as it could, but it's not. So we'll see in the column setting in a layout, and now I see vertical alignment is showing up as a middle. So this means that to all these text has to be put in the middle, the image and all the content. So that's why it's showing up this top section spacing. So I'll move it to the top. Now it's showing fine. Similar thing with this one. So if I look at the padding, it doesn't have any padding. If I look at the image, it doesn't have any margin. So what's margin? Margin is outside the box and padding is inside. So for the column it's supposed to be padding, but for the image it's supposed to be margin. So when I see there's nothing there, so it must be the layout alignment. So in this one again it's saying top and middle, so I'll move it to top. Now it seems fine. And now I scroll down, I see all of these widgets looks fine to me, right, except for this one. this doesn't look good. Actually, there is a lot more different here. So when I select here, the line is here, the image is going up. So there seems to be, when I put a margin there, it goes spacing as a downward, but this is going upward, so this means there is a negative spacing somewhere. So I'll select this section, this intersection here, and go to the advanced. I see there's a positive margin, so it doesn't make sense. The positive margin should make them go down, right? But it's going up. So what I need to look for the negative margin here, wherever it is, right? So the next thing to select is the column to see if there's anything negative margin. I don't see any negative margin either here for all these three columns, right? But this one has a negative margin, so what I'll do, I'll delete this. Don't need this now, it goes down, right? And yep, so that looks okay for now. A little improvement. Now I need to look into the images negative margin. Maybe these have a negative margin. So how can I do that is actually I cannot select the image here because it's going up and it's not easy to select here. So what I'll do, I'll select the column here, and from this structure I can select the image here. Now I have selected the image. Now I go to the advanced setting. I see there is a margin there, so I'll delete this and remove all this. So now this looks better. Similar thing with this image. I'll go and select the image from here. Okay, it's not this one. Maybe this is the first column, right? And I go to, yeah, it has also has a negative margin, so I'll remove all that. Now this looks okay, but there's a lot of space here as compared to this here, right? So this must be some kind of positive margin. I remember having a margin in the inner setting, inner section, so I'll delete this, right? And now we have all of this here, so that looks good and better from before. And I still have this space here, so again this must not be as the previous issue, it must be the layout issue. So I'll go to the and make it as a top, and now it looks okay. There's another change, if you notice, that is like the edges here. So if you look at the edges here, these are sharp edges, but on this one it's a round edge, right? So I can check the edges here in the column setting as a border. So it says 66666, right, and has a shadow here, which is good. This one doesn't have the if I look this one, it has the edges there and a shadow, but it doesn't look like it has that, right? Similar thing with this one, right? So it has a corner edges. So the easiest way is actually, because these are all columns, so what I'll do, I'll copy this column and paste the setting of this column, paste the style of this column into this one, and now we can see the same setting. There's another setting you can see now on the hover, it works, right? And similar thing with this one, I'll do the same here, paste styling. Now it has the same hover effect here as well, and again it goes to the middle, so I'll move it to the top. This one should be top as well, and this one as well. Okay, this one has a negative margin for some reason, so I'll remove this, and I'll also remove this, and doesn't need the padding here. Padding has to be 0, and yep, so we are all seems to be good here. This one has to be on the top, so I'll copy this corner column and paste it over here to see if it changes. Yep. Okay. Yep, so you see that the image actually is showing as a stretch. So what I'll do, I'll use it as a cover. Now it looks fine to me. And I'll go and check the corners. So this image has a left top and right corner, right? So I'll put the corner setting here, and in this case I'll copy the image and paste the image setting here, so it has the same thing. So now we can see that it's all looking good, right? And this image actually goes down and not showing up properly, so I'll go and do it center. So now it looks okay, and I'll see on this one if we can make it a better look. Yep. Okay, so now this section is fine. You scroll down, and on the desktop the rest of it looks okay, except for this one. It has this no space over here, it goes to the edges, but this one actually has a space. So what I'll do, and now we can see this section is newly with the new setting, it's showing up container instead of inner section, and this is also container, this is container, and this is container. They are all container. So what I'll do, I'll copy this container and paste the style here, so it will have a spacing in the same manner, right? And yeah, so it's still going to the edges. We'll dive deeper here, and I'll see that it is center, so I'll go to the top, and now I see that the image actually went up for some reason. Yeah, it has a negative margin, so I'll delete this, right? And then of course it has to have uh, this section also showing up. um, Yep, this one also seems to have a negative margin, so we have to fix all this. So I'll copy this image and paste the styling here, and paste the styling here, and now we can see the image doesn't look good, so we'll move this to center, or maybe bottom center. Yep. Okay, so it's the same thing, so we'll do the same thing here. I'll copy this and paste it here. Okay, now this one has a negative margin, so we have to look for it. So these are the settings we need to do to make it, look good. And I'll copy this image and paste the image style here, so it has a corner. And now this one, the image doesn't look good from the bottom, so we'll go to the center. It doesn't look either. I'll go to top center. Now it seems fine, right? Or yep, so that's good. And yep, so we have to still look for this corner setting. It doesn't show up quite right. I'll go to the padding. I cannot add the padding, so what I'll do, I'll add the, yep, this margin. It doesn't look good, so I'll remove this negative margin from here. And I think this one also has a negative margin. No, it doesn't have it. It must have the padding as this one, right, which is 555. So this one will look okay. Yeah, see that? So this is how the design works. If we look here, this one is showing up shadow, but none of these two or any other doesn't show any shadow, right? So we have to fix this again. So what I'll do, I'll copy this and paste it here in the style. Now we see it's uh, middle centralized, so that's why it has this space. I'll go and move it to the top, and the image again is showing sharp corners, so I'll copy that here. Now it seems similar. So this is how we have to look for things. And in this one I'll have it as a no 0. Yeah. And Okay. Yep, I noticed that this one has not showing up any. Okay, yeah, this one has a negative margin. That's what I'm noticing. So we will remove all that and have this as a 10, and also remove the negative margin here. I knew this one would be here as well. So yeah, seems like this image also has a negative margin. Yep, here you go. So we have to fix all that. And now this one has a space on the top, so we'll remove this space. And this image also has a negative margin. Yep, so this is how we have to fix everything. So I'll copy this image and paste the styling here. So now this is seems to be working. This one has a negative margin. I don't need negative margin. I need to remove the padding from here, and that's it. And I already copied the image, so I'll paste the image setting here, and this text I'll copy and paste the style for the text here, so it should give the spacing. So yeah, and yeah, this all looks fine. This one doesn't have a background white, so I'll make the background white for this one. White background. Yeah, there you go. So it has a white background. The rest, yeah, this one doesn't look good either. I will move it to the top. Now it's okay. This one doesn't have the image uh, corners, and doesn't have the container corners. I'll copy this container and paste this container styling. So now we can see that it has the corner, and I'll copy this image and paste the image styling here, so it has the corner here. And now we're seeing that image actually is not. So I'll go to the bottom center. Okay, that doesn't look good. Center, that also doesn't look good. I think this is okay for now. Well, so this means that we need to edit the image and remove the image spacing from here. And I seems like this image also has a negative margin. No, okay, feel like it. Oh yeah, okay, it doesn't have it. So yeah, and similar thing on this one. This is showing up middle. So I'll move it to top, and the rest looks okay. And again this one as well, move it to the top. This one as well, move it to the top. And this image, again this is a new container, so instead of copying this one, I'll just I'll I will just do it from the settings. So what I'll do, I'll go to the settings, I'll go to the border and have the border is 6 corners and a shadow, uh, and not the shadow as is this one, but shadow on this one, right, when it hovers. Similar, I'll go to the container padding, I'll have it as 0. Now I have the image, I'll go to the image and image styling, and border has a 6. And yep, so it's all look good now. This one still doesn't have a, you know, so I'll put the margin as a 5, so it looks okay now, right? Yep. So I'll go here, go to the setting. It doesn't have a um, shadow before. Yep, now it looks okay. Yep, so this all looks fine now, and I'll publish this. So I have the settings saved. So this is the changes in the design to look it symmetrical. Right, now I'll go to the tablet and check this. Right, so I'll go to the top. I see it looks fine, this looks fine, this looks fine. Again, this one is not as a top, so I'll go and move it as a top. And yep, so again copy, and I'll use the shortcut to paste settings here. Right, and yep, in a tablet it's like there's only 1% people are coming in, so we are not worried on much here. Okay, I need to copy this and paste it here so it doesn't, and copy this styling, paste the styling over here. Yep, so this is how we have to make the responsiveness. So you can see um, we can make the changes for the the text to look smaller. It's just an idea. I mean, I usually do that, but now the videos, we don't have much time for that. So yep, I'll do on this one only just to show you how good it looks, or how can we do that. It's usually to show it like in a better perspective. So it looks okay now. So this is how I do um, the text formatting. I'll skip through that. It's something you would be easily do it. Now I see the border has spacing, but image doesn't look like to have. Yep, image has it as well, so all looks good. This all looks good. It's okay. Okay. But this one doesn't have a spacing. Yep, okay. That looks okay. So this is how, like, the for the tablet it's only 1% traffic, so we don't worry much about this. But for the mobile, there's like half of the traffic coming from the mobile, so we have to look for it in a better perspective. So I'll see this this container has a is some sort of padding that is a lot. Yep, there you go. So you can see there's a lot of padding here. So I'll remove this and move it as a 20. Now we can see it as a better space. And this looks okay. We can definitely use it like this. But I usually like to have it as like, two column, because these are smaller uh, text. So yeah, there you go. It's up to you how you want to go for it. But like for me, this is okay, because it's like not scrolling too much here, and it's just smaller text here. And on a mobile, I'll just quickly go through them. All looks okay to me. You see the difference here is if you look at the spacing here, right? They all have the same spacing from the left and from the right, right? This one also has the same spacing. And then after this, I see more spacing here. See that the spacing change from here to here? So this is something that we have to focus on and look for it. So this is something coming from maybe here. So if I look at the padding is 0. Maybe this section has that. You can see it showing up as 20. So we can move it as a 10, and now it looks similar. To check this, we have to look for this one. It has a 10, and then inner column has 0, and then this section has some, and then this one has a 10 margin. So yeah, yep, now it looks equal, right? This one has a better spacing than this one, but again, it's something to look for. Just quickly going through them. Yep, this one also has the same thing, so I'll go ahead and change to 10, so it looks kind of a similar. you know this one has the same thing happening to it. Again, something to look for. Yep, there we go. I'll remove this to 0, so it has the same. There we go. All looks fine. This one's have no spacing. Yep, this one looks more spacing, so. And this section, this container, now I see it has a 20, so I'll remove it to 10. So yeah, now we are good to see that. So I'll go back to the desktop and just quickly scroll through all of this to see if it's all working. Yep, this all looks good. See that the changes I made doesn't affect anything on the desktop, the higher screen, and of course it won't affect anything here either, right? So yeah, all good. I'll just publish this, and yeah, we are good to go. Thanks.